Badassatron, which is actually pronounced Badassatron.
We're gonna call you B.
The first official trailer for the upcoming Transformers 1 movie just dropped, and let's talk about it. While many movies start with short teaser trailers, Transformers 1 went all out and gave us a full 3-minute trailer. Fans are already discussing and debating what they just saw, and opinions seem to be divided. I want to share my thoughts of the trailer, including the story, plans for the new trilogy, and how it connects to the live-action movies. However, I also want to hear what you think. People seem to either love the trailer or dislike it, so I'm curious to know where you stand. Did the trailer meet your expectations, or do you feel differently? Let me know. Paramount did something interesting with the release of the Transformers 1 trailer. They set a countdown for the trailer's release, and when it went live, it was an hour-long shot of the trailer being sent into space. This is a unique marketing strategy. The trailer starts with the voice of Optimus Prime as going by Ryan Pax, voiced by Chris Hemsworth, and Megatron, voiced by Tyree Henry as D16. Initially, I felt conflicted about the animation style. Part of me liked it, but another part thought it felt like a kid's show you might see on streaming platforms or TV today. The animation has both stunning landscapes and strange moments. It reminded me of old Bionicle movies with stiff robotic movements and facial expressions similar to what I see on Transformers 1. I'm leaning a bit more towards the positive side regarding the animation. After watching the movie, I might grow accustomed to the style and appreciate it more, especially by the time a second film comes out. The creative team said they chose animation because doing the story in live action would have cost $1 billion, and I can see why given the movie's large scope and scale. The tone of the movie also caught some people off guard. It feels like it's targeting a very young audience with humor that's lighthearted and family-friendly. People who saw the trailer at CinemaCon compare the movie's feel to a Minions film, which might explain why the tone didn't surprise me much. Transformers 1 is special because it's the first animated Transformers movie to hit theaters since 1986. As a big Transformers fan, I've been a bit disappointed by the live-action films, though I did enjoy Bumblebee. I mostly prefer cartoons and comics to get my Transformers to fix. When Chris Hemsworth was announced as the voice of Optimus Prime in the animated movie, I didn't mind. I'm not someone who insists that Optimus Prime must always be voiced by Peter Cullen. Earth-Spark features Alan Tudyk as Optimus Prime, and he's great. Rory McCann also does a good job as Megatron, so I'm fine with other actors taking on these roles. However, I don't like Transformers 1 because the voices just don't fit. Even though I don't mind different actors playing these iconic characters, the voices in this film don't match my expectations. Saying I'm disappointed is an understatement. People might not realize it, but Transformers is just as big an IP as Star Wars or Marvel, with lots of lore beyond big robots fighting. Transformers 1 seems to want to tell a backstory, which could be good for showing the general public that these characters existed before becoming enemies. Think of Optimus and Megatron like Professor X and Magneto in the Transformers world. Megatron starting as an unknown miner fits with this IDW comic book run, so they're sticking close to the source material. Seeing Elita 1 in the spotlight after RC had it for so long is great. Let's break down the plot released with the Transformers 1 trailer. The movie tells the untold origin story of Optimus Prime and Megatron, who were once friends but later became sworn enemies. The story is about how they were like brothers and how their choices shaped the fate of Cybertron. Can robots have a coming-of-age story? Yes, anything is possible in the world of the Transformers, where Optimus Prime, Megatron, and their mechanical factions are alien robots. Transformers 1 takes us back to a time before the war between the Autobots and Decepticons, when Optimus was known as Ryan Pax and Megatron went by D16. One scene in the trailer shows Megatron finding a Decepticon symbol on his body, and he seems confused because he doesn't know what it means. The trailer sets up their story as underground workers similar to miners who don't know much about their history. Watching Megatron's journey and learning more about his past and the Decepticons should be intriguing. The trailer also hints at a friends to enemies plot paired with slow, somber moments of exploring Cybertron. We might see some serious moments we're hoping for, but they could end with a joke similar to how Marvel movies handle serious scenes. As for how this connects to the live-action Transformers movies, it technically doesn't. This is an origin story about how Optimus and Megatron became enemies, and you could consider it a prequel to the live-action films. However, it's better to see it as its own story set in the same universe, but at a much earlier time. We're also getting a live-action Transformers movie featuring a G.I. Joe crossover, which might appeal more to those looking for an adult-oriented Transformers film. What stands out in Transformers 1 is the focus on exploring Cybertron and the origins of the Transformers. The trailer reveals that at the beginning, they can't transform, but later gain the ability, which is treated like a superpower in the movie. They become superheroes of a Cybertron, likely sparking one of the many wars led by an organic mechanical creature holding Sentinel Prime hostage. Scarlett Johansson plays Elita 1, and she has a cool, intense scene in the trailer, which is something I'm excited about in this movie: the action scenes. Her performance sounds fine, and I think it fits the character. Keegan-Michael Key as Bumblebee might be a bit of a debate among fans. It's not that his voice sounds bad, but he might end up being the overly funny character, and you either love or hate that. I think I'll end up liking it because I'm a fan of Keegan-Michael, but it's quite different from what people know Bumblebee to be in the live-action movies. When Starscream, Soundwave, and Shockwave get involved and start guiding Megatron, it seems like Megatron might shift his stance and turn against Optimus Prime and his friends. So yeah, while I'm looking forward to the movie and think it looks fun, some things make me cautious. The story has to be strong, and if they pull it off, I'll be happy with the film. Some of the complaints people have about Transformers 1 remind me of the reactions to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Mutant Mayhem. Some folks thought the Ninja Turtles were too childlike and the movie felt too childish. We've seen years of live action or CG Transformers movies which lean heavily on action and high stakes, but Cooley wanted to inject more comedy and humanity into the characters, even though there are no humans around. In live action movies, they're big Transformers compared to humans, which creates comedy. Since Transformers 1 takes place millions of years before Earth even exists, there is none of that dynamic. Instead, Josh Cooley, the director, needed to make sure the characters could carry the film on their own and have humor and emotion. He focused on making the robots a bit more human. CinemaCon attendees got to see the trailer first, and many were surprised by how childlike it seemed. But those who attended also saw a full clip of a conversation between Megatron and Optimus Prime that felt quite serious with few jokes. This gives me hope that there will be darker, more intense moments in the movie. There is something about the movie that feels a bit like Power Rangers, which might divide older fans of the Transformers franchise. But when the movie hits theaters on September 20th, it seems like everyone will agree that the robots' human-like lips, noses, and teeth are quite unsettling. If you've watched the 1986 animated movie Transformers the movie recently, or remember when it first came out in cinemas, you'll probably feel a sense of nostalgia for the new movie's scope, scale, and design. Cooley emphasized the importance of taking the audience on a journey with D16, making them feel his change of heart and understand his reasons. There's a sense of sadness in watching the friendship between Optimus and D16 fall apart. We need to remember that Transformers 1 shows the Transformers as young adults just starting their journey. It makes sense that they're a bit lighthearted. Since this might be part of a planned trilogy, we could see the characters grow and evolve into the fully fledged warriors we expect them to be. That's always fun in animation, growing up with the characters. So the potential is there, but I'll have to see the movie first and hope it turns out well. What do you think? Let us know in the comments. That's all for this video. If you're hyped for this one, give us a thumbs up and subscribe for more movie updates. Thanks for watching. See you next time.